Okay, finally. Okay, of course, I have tech issues when I'm trying to go live on all of my different platforms. For some reason, I was having issues with my background. It wanted to look all funky, and I think it was funky enough. So there's no reason for more funky. Anyway, so we're going to talk today about the 5 things not to do when you are writing your website. So I sent out my newsletter yesterday, and it has 5 key things to do when you are writing your website, and or not to do, I should say, when you're writing your website. And I wanted to go through them a little bit today. So if you didn't get the newsletter with some of the specifics on it, you can always go to my website at hire digitaldesk.com and read that. And you'll be able to go through each of these steps and take a look at your own website and see if you have done any of these things. And then fix them. Now, personally, I believe that a website is one of the most important parts of your digital marketing ecosystem. And the reason for that is because people taste test now. They don't necessarily call you if your phone rings. They're probably 75% of the way there and choosing you to do whatever your product or service is. Now, I have heard from clients that they don't feel that way, that they feel that their website doesn't do anything for them. And I always come back and say, actually, I think it's maybe because of the way your website is actually written that may be the case. So anyway, we're going to talk today about how to make your website an integral part of your digital marketing ecosystem by actually writing the right way. So making sure that it actually does what it's supposed to do. Is it an older person that might be coming to your website rather than a millennial? Possibly, but I'm going to also challenge that thought process and say millennials also go to websites. They just use them for different reasons. So we're going to talk about that a little bit too. So number one thing that I wanted to point out is that for your website, the biggest, most common thing I see with people's websites is that they write their website for their business, which seems it seems right? So me telling you not to do that seems counterintuitive. But basically what I'm saying is that you need to make sure that you're writing for the person who actually is coming to your website. So you have to let them know, that they have come to the right place, that you're here to solve their problem, that you are the expert in your space, or your product will actually provide the solution that they need. So you want to make sure that you're writing in honor of that. So what do I do, you're asking yourself, in order to do that? Well, first thing is you want to make sure that instead of using terms like, I have a school, I always use this as an example, but I have a school that's a client. So rather than saying our students have access to the best opportunities, we'll say your child will have the access to the best opportunities. So instead of, our students, which now it's just some faceless student out there, it is now your child. So meaning that I am now, as the user, thinking about my daughter, Charlie, and all of the different opportunities that she will get if I send her to this school. And more importantly than that, now that I'm leaning in, I'm going to want to know more. So I'm going to go further into the website to learn more about that school. So that does a couple of things. A, it helps that person go through the process of deciding whether or not they want to use or go to that school. But B, from a search engine standpoint, having someone spend more time and going to more areas of your website is going to help you in that respect as well. So that's the first thing. Don't write for yourself or your business. Write it for the person that's coming to the website and making them want to engage more. So 1 second. I'm very professional, aren't I? Secondly, I want to point out that a broad target is great. I checked my notes. A broad target is great. I think that, we all feel that everyone could use our services or our products, and they probably can. I'd like to think that everyone could use my service as well, but broad targeting or everyone is a very finicky and a very expensive target to have. And unless you are a multimillionaire, and I don't think any of us are, and if you are, call me because you can use my services, but we're not all multimillionaires. So it's a very finicky and very expensive target. So what we want to do is really know who our target audience is. Like, who is our perfect client? Who is that perfect client? And then when we know who that perfect client is, we want to make sure that everything that we do is in honor of that perfect client. So once we know who they are, we know how to service them, what products to create for them, how to write our website, what key things will get them to lean in when we're writing our website. So for instance, obviously a school, you're talking to parents of a certain age of a child. So words like your child are going to hit them where it counts, to help them like see themselves in the website. Like, oh yeah, this is what I need. So don't have a broad target. And it's not going to preclude you from getting clients that are broader than your lane. Okay. You're going to get them anyway. I get people all the time that aren't necessarily my lane, but everything I do, everything I write, everything I do is in honor of my perfect client. And then what happens is that perfect client starts to lean in to my brand and starts to go to Facebook. They go to Instagram. They check out my training. They hire me to do their digital marketing. There's all of these things that my perfect client does. And then that perfect client also recommends me to others that may be outside of my lane. So again, I'm spending money and time on one client. I'm looking at her as Judy, my client. Okay. I call her Judy. So anything that Judy wants, I make sure that I provide. So instead of this, I'm going like this. So you want to make sure that when you're writing your website, you do the same thing. Wasting space. So I'm going to hop over to my website, and my website by far not perfect. I'm not saying that it is, but it's a work in progress that I am actually proud of, because what I did was I have asked quite a few of my supporters to help me figure out, oh, this is giving me a headache, what the best website would be. So just want to make sure real quick. Yes, you are seeing what I'm seeing. Okay. So this is my website, and on my website, you'll see here, it's, got a couple things. First of all, because my brand is me, the first thing you see is a face. So faces are important. So photography that gets people comfortable. If it's you, great. If it's you doing photos that are in honor of your perfect, if I want Judy, then I need to have pictures that look like Judy. But using this space above the fold. So what the fold means, it goes back to the newspaper days where like you would read the headlines and then anything that was below the fold. So like when you flipped over the newspaper, that was like less important stuff. So anything that was above the fold was more important. So you have this giant amount of area. So you want to use it. And you don't want to waste it. I've seen it before where people just have their logo, or they have something that's like really, about their business and not about their perfect client, not about Judy. So you want to make sure that Judy is leaning in here. I see a lot of sliders, which are fantastic. Love them. But you want to make sure that the words on the sliders are something that is going to tell them why they should go further or scroll down. Okay. So you'll see here that this goes into my next point, which is, which is War and Peace, the Great American Novel. So don't write the Great American Novel. So I'm going to show you a couple of things. So don't waste the space, and don't write the Great American Novel. Those two things can go together with this. So the first thing is I'm letting them know who I am and what I do. So the who, what, when, where, why, and how. Okay, goes back to that newspaper and the basics. Who, what, when, where, and how. Before, and this is a big screen, so before they ever get anywhere, they know who I am, what I do, right? Where they can get it, why, and then here they're taking a quiz. Do they need one? And then how is back up here. So who, what, when, where, and how, who, what, when, where, why, and how is above the fold. Okay. So they can automatically, before they go anywhere, they can, let's say you're an e-commerce site, they can shop automatically. Or your services. Here they can schedule a 20-minute consultation with me, etc. Okay. So then below that, I am now not writing a novel, right? I want them to know what I do. Do what you do best, and I'll handle the rest. And then I make it easy for them. I make it very easy so that they know exactly what I provide and the pain point that they have and how I solve it right away. So here, they save time by scheduling a consultation. They save money by choosing a plan. They save their sanity by doing what they do best. Okay. And then letting me do the rest. So that is, I'm going to stop sharing. That is a quick overview of kind of what I've done. Now, am I done with my website? Yeah, I'm done for now, but I'm not going to not go back and refresh it. I try to do new things all the time because it helps people want to come back and it gives them a reason, but then also the search engines like that too. So that's important. And then the other thing is you don't want to give away too much. So I call it, and I don't know, this might be an old person term, but don't give away the baby with the bathwater. Am I the only one that's ever heard of that before? Anyway, with that said, you don't want to give so much on your website that they don't need to contact you for further information. They don't need their 20-minute consultation. You want to give them enough where they feel like you're the expert and they feel like, oh, wow, like this is the person that I need to go to. Or if it's a product, it's, oh, this is the product I need. And they purchase. Or if it's a product they need and they just need further information, you want them to contact you. If it's a service, you want them to contact you. So always be driving. So every marketing thing that we do should be a window to the next step for that person. Never leave them without something to actually do. So you want to lead them through. So as you're writing, think of other areas of your website that you want to link to. So, sign up for my newsletter. Anchor Text is newsletter. Click on that. They go to my newsletter area. Making sure contact us. Anchor Text goes over. That type of thing. You want everything to be connected because it draws them deeper into the website, but then also gets them to contact you or connect with you. So you want to engage them enough that they want to engage with you, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So don't give too much information, but don't give too little, which I know it's easier said than done, but give them enough to where they want to take the next step. So with that said, that is basically your 5 things that you don't want to do and the 5 things that you do, obviously, when you're writing your website. But then also, you want to make sure that you sign up for my marketing window to the next, sign up for the website. So go to my website at Hire Digital Desk, HIRE digitaldesk.com. You can sign up for my newsletter. You'll get a newsletter a week and it gives this type of information. And it's really, even though I write it, I have to say it is pretty good information. And I try to make it very accessible so that I'm not speaking in words that are like jargon, things of that nature. The other thing is I do have a free Facebook community where it's called the Digital Desk Community. I know it's hard to understand why I would name it the Digital Desk Community. It's pretty simple, but Digital Desk Community, if you're not in it, find it on Facebook, or you can go to my Facebook business page, Digital Desk, and go to groups, and then it'll be right there. So go ahead and join in on that. We have about almost 600 people in there that are supporting each other with their digital marketing. And I go in there and I actually do training. So on Thursdays, I do a training. This week's going to be LinkedIn company pages because someone asked me for that. On Wednesdays, I answer digital marketing questions. Throughout the week, we're helping each other and we're commenting and supporting each other. It's a real great place to be. So anyway, so it's Digital Desk Community on Facebook. HireDigitalDesk.com is my website. And if you need to ask me a question or anything like that, email me at Amanda@HireDigitalDesk.com. And thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate it. And I hope you have a fantastic Tuesday.